With me. We're going to talk about police reforms that are going to be announced a little bit later on this morning by the Home Secretary. One from Adrian here, though. It says there shouldn't be bilateral meetings at the G20 with totalitarian leaders of police states that crush freedom of speech. President Xi should have refused to meet Keir Starmer. I did say this yesterday. Maybe President Xi's asked for special permission to talk to Keir about how to crack down a bit more on the public, because this new rapport that he wants to build with China, he should be really trying to build with his own people. Just before we talk about these police reforms, we've got some more news, a latest update from the G20. This is yesterday when they were trying to form all the leaders into, you know, one of those groups so they can take pictures of them, right? And they couldn't find Joe Biden, who's there, of course, representing the United States of America. Have a look.
They're telling him to wait for Biden, guys. Oh, my God. Do you see him, Joe? Far left. Left to the left of the palm tree. Oh, my God. But they took it. Joe, he's behind the palm tree right now.
I don't see it.
Trudeau and Malone.
Ele não vai cumprimentar, não.
Yep, he just put some sunglasses on. He's in the wrong part of the arena, apparently.
Please, dear viewers and listeners, if you see an elderly person and they look a little confused, they may be lost, unsure of their surroundings, please do approach them and see if you can help.
And see if you can help. This is the same man, by the way, who yesterday decided to say it was a good idea to give Ukraine some long-range missiles to fire at Russia. He can't find his way around the palm tree.
It's all an utter irrelevancy. What anybody is saying about Ukraine at the moment is a complete and utter irrelevancy. Because there is one person that now strides across the global political system as a colossus. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college vote. He's got a Republican Senate and he's got a Republican House of Representatives. Whether you love him or loathe him, Donald Trump is now a political colossus.
He is. He's the emperor of America, basically. That's what we were saying yesterday. Let's talk about this new release from the Home Office, strictly embargoed until this morning. Major programme of reform to be announced by Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary. You've had a look at some of the things they're going to be doing, such as a new police performance unit to track national data on local performance. I mean, it's the same old, isn't it? A neighbourhood policing guarantee to get policing back to basics. A new national centre of policing to harness new technology. I mean, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Does it mean anything?
You don't need me for this segment. You want to get Tony from Nottingham back on. He was just talking about the senior police culture. Tony's nailed it. OK, I'm old enough to have heard these kind of reform announcements time and time again. And OK, I'll give some credit where it's due. The police do need to be better with technology and advances there. So if they're going to focus on that, that could be a good thing. But don't be slaves to the tech. Just ask British Airways about that. There's an extra 500 million, apparently, going into policing. So I'm not going to knock that.
And where's that going to go, though? That's the question. Because if it's going into recruitment, fine. But is it?
Well, we shall have to wait and see. But this is the same old speak and announcements, and they're renaming, you know, yet another body to oversee policing. Well, I go back decades and loads of reincarnations of those. But essentially, today, they do not tackle or mention any of the real matters that need addressing. His Majesty's Inspectorate do, because they today have said that policing fails to get the basics right. And that is very, very true.
And so we know that.
Ask any victim of crime about that.
I mean, I was saying this, and I'm sorry to keep banging on about my one very small, you know, sort of situation where somebody took my phone. I got an email the other day from some organisation around Sadiq Khan asking me to fill out a questionnaire as to how the police had dealt with my report of crime. You know, and so far I haven't had the time to get round to doing it. I will do it because I want them to know that actually I'm not very satisfied at all because I didn't do anything.
And today, in this press release from Yvette Cooper, and as I've said, she'll be on all the media outlets, somebody who contributes to the same press release is a bloke called Dr. Rick Muir. OK, don't get excited because he can't fix your verruca. He's not that kind of doctor.
Not a proper doctor.
No, not a proper doctor.
He's one of those PhD doctors.
Exactly, right. And
they love to call themselves doctor, don't they?
Yeah, and he's from a think tank called the Police Foundation, okay, which of course has charitable status.
Yes, of course. Just put the word foundation in after your name and you can get charitable status and do absolutely the square root of nothing.
Yep.
And get a load of money from people.
But this think tank is going to be influential because he's quoting.
Yeah.
So he's quoting with permission. So they're clearly going to be listening to this Police Foundation.
Right.
Okay? Two of the people who signed off the accounts that I had a look at today and are part of the trustees, so therefore very influential, one might suggest, within this think tank, is a bloke called Sir Bill Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? He's a civil servant.
Nice.
Joined the Home Office in 1971.
Well, he'll know plenty about policing then.
Never rolled about on a pavement with anybody, like Dr. Rick Muir, who got a degree in politics at Oxford. Never rolled around on a pavement with a burglar, a robber, a drug dealer, a phone snatcher, right? Another guy called Andrew Tivey, who's another trustee, and all he seems to be is a non-executive director of non-executive directors of non-executive directors.
Brilliant.
Whatever the heck that means.
Yes.
So these people, influential, shaping policy probably, and none of them have got a minute's policing experience between them. The same old is going to happen until, and I've no shame in quoting Tony from Nottingham again, because he's bang on about the culture, about the management. And this feeds brilliantly into a story that I'll mention briefly, if I may, on page 11 of today's Daily Express. Okay? A police officer called Stephen Cotgreave, right, part of Royalty Protection, 24 years service, drops his weapon, so I don't know how that came about. He's clearly made a mistake. And the magazine pops out. He loses a bullet. But because he's in the police, and because clearly this is the kind of culture that needs addressing, he doesn't go up to his sergeant and say, Sarge, I've made a ricket here, I've dropped my gun, I've lost a bullet. I'm very sorry, can we scramble a few of the troops, please, to have a look for it and find it? And I'm really, really sorry, and I'll take my punishment. No, he spins a yarn, The bullet gets found 8 days later, and of course his lie unravels. So he goes on a gross misconduct hearing. 24 years, unblemished service, he gets the sack. Now, I mention it because clearly there's a culture where you cannot admit a mistake and then that be rectified without somebody using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. So until they kind of tackle this kind of culture, where, of course, we see police officers getting nicked day in, day out, until they have police leaders that the front line can relate to, respect, know they've got experience, know they've walked the walk, know that they know their issues on the front line, nothing's going to change. Policing is in the grip of academia, and it needs to sever those ties. I mean, many of them.
Only yesterday we had the story of the rammed raid at Windsor, in like a stone's throw away from where Prince William and where Princess Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales, are living with their children in the middle of the night. Two characters climb over a 6-foot fence. They drive a truck through the gate, which is meant to be secure, because the royal family actually go through that gate on quite regular occasions. They get in there, they steal an Isuzu truck and they steal a quad bike. And apparently there's no armed guards on the gate anymore because, amongst other things, the bosses of the police have decided that tourists don't like seeing police officers with automatic weapons. What sort of nonsense is that?
Absolute drivel. Tourists that go through airports will see police officers with automatic weapons.
I'm quite happy to see them.
Does it stop them getting on a plane?
No, of course not.
Utter drivel. Whoever came out with that, it's just complete nonsense. And of course, unfortunately, I have to say to the royal family, well, welcome to 2024 and the world that so many of us have to endure, whereby frequently we become victims of crime. Millions of people have their cars stolen, their houses burgled, their phones snatched, their bikes, and so on and so forth, let alone the violence, let alone the harassment of women, all that kind of stuff. And now it's come a bit close to home.
And nobody has done anything about it. Extraordinary stuff. 6:45, Peter Bleksley's here. I'm Mike Graham. This is Morning Glory. Coming up, we're going to tell you another sad and ghastly story about Hugh Edwards, who tried to groom a schoolboy after seeing him in his school uniform. I kid you not. This has just come out. I'm Mike Graham.